Welcome back to the Top Shelf Literary Editions. This is episode 92, and I'm taking you through my top 10 favorite books of all time. And right now we're up to number 9, and I hope you've been enjoying this. Like I said, I'm capping the series because I want to move on to another series that I've had in mind that I'll tell you about in a few episodes from now. My name is Ernest Whiteman III. I'm a Northern Arapaho filmmaker, artist, writer, and media educator, and we're taking a look at the top shelf of my book collection today. We're taking a look at my top 10 books. I have one selected for you. I'll give you a synopsis and a review, and a reason why I purchased or received the edition. And we're up to number 9 on my top 10 favorite books of all time. And believe it or not, this is probably going to be a controversial decision. The Last Temptation of Christ by Nikos Kazantzakis is how I'm going to pronounce it. Please correct me if I'm wrong. This is a book I continually think about, and of course it's about the last days or the passion of the Christ, which is the last week of his life. But it does tell his whole life in a series, but it culminates in the crucifixion. Where Christ is faced with one final temptation before he has to take his mantle as Savior. And Nikos Kazantzakis really worked hard to create this human, half God character in Jesus, and how he's not only susceptible to the foibles and fallibilities of a human man, but he has all this crushing weight of being someone who is basically God. And right off the bat, he talks about the inner turmoil, because it was an inner turmoil he felt between being someone who's devoted to his religion and someone who's devoted to being just a good human person in the world. So why the controversy? I don't know, because it really explores these themes that religion should and ought to make us think about. And it is not based on any of the Gospels. It's something that he culminated and pulled and altered to make into this very fine book. I've only read this book once, but it has sat with me since then. And I do want to read it again at some point. Of course, I've first got interested in this during my own explorations of my own Catholicism when The Last Temptation of Christ came out, and the controversy surrounding that. And that led me to the book. And I saw the film, and I didn't see anything grossly offending to my sensibilities as a human person. And I enjoyed the book. It's probably one of my favorite Martin Scorsese films. I really don't care for the... well, I do enjoy, and I do think they're great, but I'm not one for pedestaling all the organized crime films of Scorsese. I enjoy his humanistic things. I enjoyed The Color of Money is probably my favorite film of his. Last Temptation of Christ and The King of Comedy are probably my top 3 Scorsese films, but now I'm getting sidetracked. But it was the controversy of his film that sort of brought me to seeking out the book. And of course, growing up where I did, it's not easy to find books that sort of are counter to a groupthink. So once I moved to Chicago and discovered that they had a lot of secondhand bookstores, I went out and I actually sought this, and I found, although they had many different ones, I picked the one that had the movie poster cover, because I'm a cinehead after all, and started reading it, and I was just really captivated by its depictions. And like I said, whenever I saw it, people saw me reading this, and they would always comment, "Hey," it was always, "Hey, you're reading that," which I thought was a weird comment to make. But they were either interested in reading it and never did, or they were never going to read it. And those were the two polarizing comments. Again, it's about the dynamics of these two competing sides that he's even gone into with his with the reaction to the book. I've even had one classmate said, "Yeah, I saw that you're reading that, and I just want to burn that book." And I based one of my directorial projects, directing one class projects, on The Last Temptation of Christ. What I did there was I adapted it to the story of Crazy Horse, because I see some parallels in the mythologizing of Crazy Horse there as well, which is another reason why I really enjoyed this book, because it does make that connection to me. My philosophy and ideas on religion have changed since, but I will always hold this as sort of like a door opening to the exploration of my religiosity. I think it's made me a deeper thinker. I think it's made me a more empathic person. And I hope that that shines through when I interact with people day to day. But if you're hesitant about reading this, don't be. There's nothing gratuitous in it. It is basically just a character study of a person with two conflicting personalities. And the last temptation is a temptation that any one of us would run into, believe it or not. It's a very human temptation, the last temptation of Christ. And I think that was basically the whole point of the story and of the film. So The Last Temptation of Christ by Nikos Kazantzakis is number 9 on my top 10 books of all time. And I hope you check it out. Again, if you have, tell me what you think of it down below. Tell me what you didn't like about it if you've read it. But please, if you haven't read it, reserve your judgment until you have. And for those of you that read it and didn't like it, let me know that as well. Again, it always expands my thinking to see a contrary point of view, well told. So The Last Temptation of Christ is on the top shelf for today. Coming up next is our number 8 pick, which is Invisible Native by Armando Jose Prats. Sorry, I had to take a look. They're all sitting here on my desk here. So look forward to that. And until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.